like the level of memory you have, you're going to have these issues. For some reason, there are still bugs in a lot of these programs, even though they've been in existence for decades. So just be very, very mindful of backing up your work. That's the best advice I can give you. And do so in multiple places. Make sure you save it to the cloud. Even if you got to set up a separate Gmail account just to save these files, because a lot of them are very large, then I would do that. What I can actually do is set up a shared folder for this class so y'all can start like dumping your work in there. And that way, if something happens, you always have a backup copy on the cloud. Okay, Bryson, it looks like you're making good progress.
It's sophomore, that's mine.
Oh, wait.
It's just Bryson's cursor in front of mine.
Oh. Well, Deja, you're making good progress.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks good. The only thing I think you have left to do really is to offset your walls. So show your wall thicknesses.
Okay.
And then you can start moving this into Photoshop.
And how do you want me to show my wall thickness?
So your wall thickness, you're going to use the offset tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that you scaled this plan ahead of time. So you would take, first of all, you would take a measurement of this. Hold on, let me see if I can annotate.
Okay.
So you want to take this measurement. Oh, that's too thick.
It's the other one.
Hold on one second. So you want to take this thickness here, that wall thickness between the exterior wall and the interior wall. This is a better tool to use. Can I get in closer? She's not letting me be great. And you're going to use a command called DI is the thing, or distance. To take that measurement. So that you can find out your wall thickness. And after you find out your wall thickness, you're going to offset, like the wrapper, whatever the distance is. So it might be 6 inches. You got to specify like the actual unit. So you can offset it, whatever that distance is, and then click on the interior of your plan. And hit enter. And that'll give you your wall thickness. So I can show you after we go through reviewing the things. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Deja, you had me worried for no reason. Like, seriously.
Why had you worried?
Because you told me that you were like lost in the class. And I was like, wait a minute, am I just not explaining things well? What's going on?
It's like, I kind of was lost at the beginning.
Okay.
And when we started doing AutoCAD, I did it with Professor Daniels a little bit before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
So I just kind of did that. I just knew we had to trace a floor plan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's common to start off really confused and then, you know, now who's this? This is Bryson's.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Bryson, you're in a good spot to start taking this into Photoshop and start rendering. The only thing you're probably going to have to like fake when you get into Photoshop is like inserting some trees and things like that. But in terms of like your furniture placement and your walls, you're doing good. Now, when you're tracing your walls, what command are you using? Are you using a polyline tool or are you just using line segments?
I think it's just line segments.
Okay, so that's one thing you want to be careful about because like you see here, these little corners where everything's not quite matching up. When you use polyline versus your line segments, the lines become one whole joint continuous thing. And that way you have solid walls that you can hatch or infill pretty easily. But when you do line segments and you get those little gaps in your corners, which is pretty easy to fix, it's just a matter of stretching those two corners together so that they meet. Then when they don't meet and you go to fill things in Photoshop or adjust things in Illustrator, then it becomes problematic.
Okay.
But I'll go and show you exactly what I'm talking about shortly. All right, so Bryson, we're in a good place. So now really it's just about making sure. Now, Bryson, were you able to download Photoshop?
I tried to the other day.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like messing up. My computer was tweaking a little bit, so I just kind of like gave up. But I tried again.
All right, see if you can get a trial version, and I'm gonna go online with you guys to make sure we're all kind of going to the same place to get that info. But this is good. I think you are making good progress. Who's? No, this is Morgan's. Okay. Morgan, what house are you working on again? I think you muted yourself.
I'm trying to remember the name. If you just give me a second, Riva.
No, it's no problem. Woo. Looks like
It's the Kauai House.
By who's the architect?
Crossan.
Morgan Deloach. Another thing, we want to make sure that we are using layers. I know that I sent you guys. So I think so far that I've looked at in terms of AutoCAD plans, I've seen Deja is utilizing her layers and Morgan. Bryson, I think all of yours are on one layer. If you have a lot of things going on like Morgan does, you want to be very, very careful about putting things on one single layer. So one thing you can do is go back and select the lines from the different elements and put them on separate layers. One thing I noticed, Morgan, and I'm not sure if this is on purpose or if it's just because you're tracing the plan, it's like all of your lines aren't necessarily straight. Are you using the ortho tool?
I was, but the lines on the plan weren't straight themselves, so I didn't know whether to go 90 and all that stuff or just trace the lines.
Right. I understand. So it might just be the house. Like it might be the architect's intent to not have straight lines. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this particular home, so I have to look at it and see. But so far, so good. Did your plan have any furnishings in it, or did they label the rooms to say what was what?
It had furnishings, so the one on the left is the ground floor plan, and then the one on the right is the floor plan. But I didn't know whether to put the furnishings in yet, so I just took it out.
Yeah, I would definitely put the outlines of the furnitures in there so that when you go to take this into Photoshop, you will be able to identify the scale of the furniture that you put in. So you're literally just like laying photographs of furniture over top of the outline, like the drawn version. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Okay. Well, good work thus far. All right, so I checked Deja, I checked Bryson, I checked Morgan's. Andrea, I looked. Let's see, who's this? Journey's having computer issues. Larry, I don't see. I know he had signed on. Tyra, Ms. Murray, how are we looking?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I was talking. I didn't even so I'm kind of confused on some stuff that I was doing with my floor plan.
Okay. Did you want to, well, let me look at Jordan Payton's and let me look at the other student work and then we'll come back and you can share screen and hopefully I can answer your question.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so Elijah, you're still having AutoCAD issues. You got a lot of little things in here. So Elijah, what you want to do, and I will go back and demonstrate. What I'm seeing is that your lines are kind of going down to the center of your walls. So when you offset and you take that distance, hold on, let me. Like when you go back to put in your wall thicknesses, and like I told Deja, that's a whole like offset command. So when you take this distance between here and here, you're going to take whatever this is that distance between your two walls, your exterior and your interior. And you're going to offset like half the distance on both sides of your line. So then that way, hold on, I didn't mean to move that. That was loud. Didn't mean to move that. So then that way, once you offset it, you'll get a line here and come on now, don't do me like this. Concept board, a line here, and that'll give you your wall thicknesses. Another thing, just like I was telling Bryson, and I know you're trying to accommodate your like door openings and things like that.
Yeah.
You want to be using the polyline tool instead of the line tool. So PL, which is polyline,
Mhm.
instead of just a regular line, because it'll give you a lot of broken line segments. It's easier to do that and then go back and trim your walls where the openings are as you're offsetting them. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. This is why I wanted everybody to send me an email with a plan for their house so I can show you what I'm talking about. Definitely typing in AutoCAD commands is my password. Give me 1 second, I forgot. All right. Pretty sure I somehow admit. All right, so let me log into this other Zoom account real quick so that you guys can see what I'm doing on my other computer. Just give me 1 second. Just give me that Zoom. All right, but y'all are making progress. So I'm less, I know y'all are frustrated with like the program situation, but everybody is getting somewhere. All right, this is Jordan Payton's. Now, Jordan, did you just skip I think Andrea did the same thing. Did you skip the tracing thing and just went straight into rendering?
No, I don't have Adobe yet, so all I could do was get my floor plan until I'm able to get the light version.
Okay. So you're still working on getting AutoCAD, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I can most likely get it by Monday. I just have to clear a little bit more space off, and then it'll be able to clear the file.
Okay. All right, so Elijah needs to work on using the polyline tool. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. And Jordan, we need Peyton. I'm writing down notes, so give me a second. AutoCAD Lite. I'm trying to think. I wish there was a cloud-based version of AutoCAD that I could like recommend you to. The other option is to try and download the VPN that the university has set up. I can send you the instructions to do so, but I believe it's going to be frustrating. But you can try. Andrea, you did the same thing that I did, which was just skip to the rendering portion, correct? I know she was on here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we still want you to get in the practice of tracing your stuff in AutoCAD. Were you able to get access to AutoCAD or no?
Yeah.
You sounded really unsure, Andrea. So what's the problem? Andrea, can you write it in the chat?
On my computer.
Oh, you don't have enough space on your computer. All right. I think that's what she said. Ah, I see. Did you try AutoCAD Lite versus the full version? Okay. All right, Andrea. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing screen. Tyra, was your question an AutoCAD related question?
It was really about my floor plan. I posted it on the concept board up here at the top.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Zoom in. All right, so what's up?
Okay, so do you see like which one can I do? Okay, so the first level, you see where the studio is?
Mm-hmm.
Is that an exterior wall on the left, or because I didn't know how to go about tracing that? Because like I can tell the others are exterior walls because it's so dark, but
Right.
that, and then like on the other side of the building too, on the right side, I don't know what that was either.
I feel like these are some type of glass wall. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit more. Where is the zoom tool? So when all else fails and you're not sure what this is, yeah, this looks like it's some type of window casing here. I want to say this is an exterior wall, but I don't know why it's not pochade in. And the only reason I'm saying for sure it's an exterior wall is because this mullion for the window is attached to it.
Okay.
So I think you're going about it right. I just have to see like a photograph of the house to determine whether it's a window or, you know, what exactly the situation is there. Or if you have a section, that'll help you kind of determine what's going on there too. But because the plans are so pixelated, it's kind of hard for me to understand.
Yeah.
But I think it's an exterior wall. And then you were saying over here, now this looks like, see, there's sleeping area. There looks like there's some more sliding door type situations over here. I think this might be a deck or a patio out here. And if that's the case, then I'm assuming the exterior wall projects out and then there's some type of deck or patio but I'm not sure if there's a railing around, but I don't think that this wall that we're looking at, let me see if I can circle it. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, so this corner, like I'm not sure that this is actually a thick wall. I know that this is a thick wall, and so there should probably be a line here ending it.
Mm-hmm.
But this area right here looks like it's just part of the patio. Like the difference between the inside and the outside stops over here.
I see.
And it looks like there's like a, I don't know if that's a little fireplace or what. But it'll be helpful if you can get some photographs of the building so you can see exactly what's going on there. But I think this is just a patio.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look for some photos and see what's going on with it.
Okay, I hope that was helpful. Hold on, let me look at the second level and maybe that'll give us some indication. See right here how, yeah, so this, I assume it's a patio. This is a balcony. And then this, because it's not pochade in, I'm assuming it's the wall below, whereas this is getting cut through. And then there's some type of overhang over here and another balcony. I think this is just a patio or like an outdoor deck.
So would I draw that like they have the balconies over there?
I would draw it with a single line
Okay.
instead of offsetting it. And then you could put, when you're rendering, you can put decking material in there. It looks like there might be tile over there. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I would definitely check out the photographs to get a better indication of what's happening.
Okay.
All right, I hope that was helpful.
Yes, it was helpful.
Okay,
So I have another question too.
yes, ma'am.
I think my trial for Photoshop is about to end.
Mm-hmm.
So what was our other option?
So,
Because I know you said something about Professor Daniels was supposed to be contacting somebody, but I didn't know if that was for Photoshop or.
yeah, that was about Photoshop because y'all should have access to the programs through the university because the university paid for licenses, but I'm not sure how y'all need to go about setting that up. So that's why I reached out to Mr. Daniels to get with Campus Technology because they weren't getting back to me at a pace that was acceptable. So I know I keep saying I'll have more news for you next class, but I'm just waiting to hear back from people.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't confirm.
I'll try GIMP too.
Okay, try GIMP, but make sure you back up everything on it as often as possible, because like I said, I think because it's a free program, there's still some bugs in there, so it's not stable.
I just want to say that I've had GIMP for a while now, and I haven't had any of the issues that y'all have had. So I just want to make sure that y'all are getting GIMP from the proper source.
There's that, because I'm pretty sure I downloaded mine from the proper source. Morgan, do you think you could, from the improper source, can you put a link in the chat?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Art 211, this is 3/5, 2021. So I think I checked in with everybody that pinned up. I got Deja, Bryson, Morgan, Elijah, Jordan, Andrea, and Tyra. Larry, I saw you sign in, but I'm not sure if you pinned up or not. Let me zoom out. See who else is on here. Mike, did you pin up?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So are you going to pin up or what's the deal?
So I'm gonna do it over the weekend because I should have access to the computer lab. 'Cause my
Okay,
computer wasn't working, so I'm just gonna do it there.
okay. And then Journey also had some computer problems. Does anybody know if Miss Goodman is on campus or is she home?
I think she's at home.
Okay. So for those of you who have gotten the floor plan done, and you need access to a rendering program, there is a link in the chat that Morgan posted for access to GIMP. So I would try that. And if you can get a free trial of Adobe Photoshop, then do so. But if not, try GIMP and see if you can start implementing some of the things that we went over in class. I can send you the link to class the other day. Now, mind you, I'm doing it in Photoshop. I have yet to experiment with GIMP because I told you I downloaded the wrong version and gave me a virus. So I gotta figure that out. This weekend I'll be traveling, so I might have to wait and go over it Monday. But if y'all can get caught up, like finishing up your AutoCAD drawings and starting the rendering process, then next week I'll start showing you how to do some things on elevations. But if you can get started on the rendering process, and if you have any questions for me on Monday, then I can answer those questions. So I'm sorry about this whole software situation. Certain things, unfortunately, are out of my control as it pertains to program licensing from the university. So I really am at the mercy of campus technology right now. So Jordan Payton still needs AutoCAD Lite. Andrea needs to go back and do her AutoCAD tracing. Morgan is making good progress. Mike needs to upload AutoCAD. So I did reach out to the upperclassmen, Mike. I asked Trent and a couple of other students, I think it was Kirby, I forget what meeting I was on, but they were basically saying the same thing that I was saying in terms of recreating floor plans or tracing floor plans. They typically do it in AutoCAD first and then take it into Revit. So you could definitely recreate a floor plan in Revit, but it's not going to necessarily allow you to trace like you would like just be drawing a new plan from scratch with the same dimensions. Journey, Tyra, Andrea, Jordan, Elijah, Morgan, Bryson, Deja. Feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Jordan Lamar.
Yeah, I tried to. I just like recently started.
Okay.
I tried to upload what I have to Concept Board, but it says conversion failed. But it says the file was uploaded, but I don't see it.
Okay. Let me
I tried it like 3 times and
zoom out. Did you do it as a PDF or did you take like a screenshot?
It's PDF.
Try just taking a screenshot of your screen and uploading it that way from your screen. Just do it that way.
Okay.
So everybody else is absent. right, so let me, Jordan, while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and share my other screen. If my computer will allow me. Okay, so what I was saying, y'all can still hear me okay on the other one. So what I was saying about the use of polyline, I think that's what I was talking about. So I'm going to start on this plan just so you can see, go back to my exterior walls line. So with the use of polyline, you want to make sure that one, ortho mode is selected down here in the right-hand corner. Elijah, it might be different on your computer. Pretty sure it is.
Wait, hold on. It says that you started screen sharing, but I don't see anything. The screen is black.
Why is it doing this? It's just my internet here. Let me try something again. Resume share. What is happening? All right, stop share. Let me try it again. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to start on a separate plan from the one that I was just in. And you want to use the polyline tool, which if you either, you can type in your command toolbar PL and hit enter, and that'll give you a polyline, or you can select it from your toolbar up here. And what polyline is just a continuous connected line, essentially. Whereas your individual lines are line segments, and it'll give you breaks in your plan, which you don't necessarily want. You want to make sure, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that you have ortho mode selected, and then also that your snap settings are on. And you can, of course, we went over this, change your snap settings to, you know, select your endpoint, create extensions. Perpendicular lines are good to have, and parallel lines is always good to have so that it picks up on those things as you're tracing. So what you want to do is, I always start with my exterior wall, and it's hard to see my cursor against the screen, but you'll be able to see it once I begin a little more movement. And I'm not exactly sure. Oh, so this particular building has a lot of windows, and then you see your wood framing in it as well. So there are a lot of composites to this particular wall. But what we want to start with doing is just going around the edge of the building. And then you see that little, when we get to the corner, and I think it was Bryson had an issue with this as well. It'll tell you once you've gotten to the end, like there will be some indication. You see how it says endpoint, and there's that little green box that pops up, and then you hit enter, and then you have a closed corner. So then when I'm going to offset, I forget who I was talking to about offsetting things. I think it was Deja. So before I offset, what I want to do is take the distance between the exterior wall and the interior wall. And that's a very subjective term. It's really the exterior face of the building and the interior face of the building, because this whole system compromises like whatever your wall cavity is. But y'all will learn more about that once you get into, what's that class? Can't remember. Construction documents, like how an actual wall is composited. We'll go over it, of course, in third year as well. But anyway, what you want to do, and it's difficult for you to see my cursor again, but you hit in distance DI or DIST, and you can go from the interior face of your wall and draw a line to connect to the exterior face of your wall. So this entire wall composite is about 1 foot in distance, maybe a little bit more, depending if you want to get into all the quarter inches, whatever else. But for the sake of this, we're just going to offset it. And you can type in O, or you can type in the full word. You can also go to your toolbar here, this like U that has a white inside and a blue outside. That's your offset command tool on your toolbar. So it says your through distance. That's what it asks you for after you type in your command. And you want to hit 1 foot or whatever that distance was that you measured. And then you would click on the interior of your wall cavity. And then all it does is gives me an exact replica of the line at, how can I put this? It just gives you a 1 foot space that is the exact replica of the polyline that you created. And so now what you can do is like hit up your interior walls. And I would still recommend you using your polyline tool for this. And yes, you're going to have door openings, but I will show you how to accommodate that. So one thing that helps, like sometimes people will try to, and I'm just start at the juncture of a wall. You can do that. And depending on your snap tool, it'll give you whatever that perpendicular point is so that your line is straight. Sometimes your snap tool will just kind of be snapping to all types of things on your image. So I might start a little beyond that point and then just let it intersect and go around my interior walls. And then I can offset my interior walls for whatever this distance is. So I'm hitting DI again, and I'm specifying that wall thickness, which is about 4 inches. So I'm gonna offset, enter, and put 4 inches. And then I'm gonna select that wall. Okay, so everybody kind of understands what I'm doing. Another thing you can do, instead of going around, if you have straight walls on the interior, you can do rectangles. So you can type in REC for rectangle, and that wall, you can go into your interior corners and just try to match up the interior face of your walls. Then you can offset it. I think we said that was 4 inches. To match up. Now it's not quite matching up because depending on where my lines were, it might not have traced over it correctly. So I'm just going to move this rectangle over to meet up with the other wall that I have. And I'm going to do the same thing for my inner rectangle. So I just typed in M for the move tool, and I'm clicking on the endpoint to drag it over and match it up. It takes some practice, but it's definitely doable. For me, I eyeball a lot of things in AutoCAD. Now, what you don't necessarily want is your exterior walls hanging into this wall cavity. You see how we got these extra lines here? So what we're going to do is use our trim tool, and you just type in TR, or you can type in the full word, trim, and you zoom into wherever those two lines are intersecting, and you can click on the line that it intersects to get rid of it. Now that took off too much. You want to be careful with trim because sometimes it'll click things that it'll trim off things that you didn't want it to. And whenever something goes wrong, just hit U and that'll be your undo tool. I didn't mean to take this long on this. So I'm trimming that long line that was on the interior of my wall. And now I'm also trimming this wall here. Ugh, I don't want that. It did something I didn't want it to do. Or instead of using the trim tool, I can click on the line itself and take this toggle and move it up to the line that is perpendicular. So now I don't have like these extra lines hanging off of the end into my exterior wall cavity. Another thing that you can do, let me just erase that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been like tracing your door swings and your windows and things of that nature. There are certain things, there are these things called blocks where there are already, how do I put this? There are already drawn doors and windows and things for you that you can insert in here. It's a lot easier to actually find in Revit because they just put everything up on the toolbar up here. See if it's in Express Tools. But it'll help you to just pop in a door or a window. Trying to find it in this version of AutoCAD. Having a hard time finding it, trying to remember what it's called. Dim Style Manager, nope. And can't remember. I have to go back and like look at a book to pull it in. But in the meantime, in between time, if you have a particular door swing that is constant in your drawing, what you can do is take your rectangle tool, go to home. That's not the correct labeled layer, but I'm just doing this so we can make a differentiation in color. You can go and trace your door using the rectangle tool. That didn't do what I wanted it to do, obviously. And then take your arc tool. You can type in arc. And that's not doing what I wanted to do either. What's happening is because I have everything in ortho mode, it's snapping to wherever it wants to snap, and it's not really helping me. So sometimes you got to turn these things off to get it to do what you want it to do. So I turned my arc off because it was giving me problems. Now I'm turning it back on so I can select to the radius point of this arc. I mean, I turned off my snap tool rather. And so now I'm going to take this and adjust the actual curve of my arc. Got to turn off that snap again because it's not letting me do what I want. And just bring it in. So now I've created a door swing. So I can literally just copy that door swing multiple times. I put in CO for copy, or you can type in the whole word. In order to, this is why it's important to change out your layers. So to stop it from selecting all of the things that I come across when I make that selection toolbox, I'm turning off, I'm locking my interior walls layer so that I can just get the door. And now I can copy and move this around and rotate it to use in the different areas around my house. Now is another good time to put my snap object tools back on so I can see what I'm selecting better. I think y'all get the general idea. Hope you get the general idea. So we'll go over some more of this AutoCAD stuff on Monday, but try your best to get those plans traced out this weekend so that you can move on to the next step, because I want us to get this project done by before midterms. And at least you'll have a floor plan and an elevation rendered at the very least. And I will get back to you about the technical issues with the campus technology. In the meantime, y'all have a good weekend and feel free to email me if you have any questions. Or if y'all want to get a group chat going for this class, we can do that as well on GroupMe. All right, y'all be safe.
Thank you, you too.